Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to explore the team management feature for the CoachRack product. This feature allows you to provide access to one of your team members to manage or view your schools and courses created in CoachRack. So let's see how it's done. So from the Invanto dashboard, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my username right at the top here and then click on team management. Alright, so as I told you before in a previous video, before we can add a team member, we need to have a group created. So we'll click on groups here and then click on add a group to create a group. So I'm going to mention this, I'm going to name it CoachRack authors and then make sure that this enable toggle is on and click on save. So you can see that the CoachRack authors group has been created. So you also have three options here. One is to delete this group, second is to edit the group name or to disable the group. Click on edit. This is the screen that you get. You can edit the group name or you can disable the group as well from here. Now the third option is manage permissions. So let's see what it has in store for us. So since we are talking about schools and courses created in CoachRack, we'll click on CoachRack here. Once you click on CoachRack, you would have two sections. One is courses and one is school. So let's see the courses section first. So under the courses section, you have two options. Now please remember that these permissions that you're going to give are group specific. So any member belonging to this particular group would be covered by these permissions. So all the members of this group would be governed by this particular set of permissions. Alright, so you have two options. One is to provide permission as an author. So what this author permission does is anybody who has an author permission would be able to make changes to their own courses. They'll not be able to view anybody else's course. However, they'll be able to see their own course and make changes to them. If you give this group an editor permission, then any group member would be able to view their own courses as well as other courses in this group. Alright, so the explanation is given here. Enable this permission if you want members of this group to manage all courses. Members will see courses created by other members also. So if you have a team member who needs to access just one course and work on only one course, then he needs to be given author permission. However, if we have a team member who is responsible for all the courses, then he needs to be given editor permission so that he can access, edit and view all the courses in your CoachRack app. So for now, I'm going to give this group an editor access and click on save. Now moving on to the school section. This is very similar to the screen that we saw while managing permissions for Member Factory. Now here you have the option to either give your group a view permission or a manage permission. So if you give them a view permission, any member of this group would be able to view courses, view the school settings, but they will not be able to make any changes to it. However, if you give them the manage permission, then they'll be able to make changes to your school settings as well. So there are several sections out here. So for example, I want to give this particular group only manage access for a few sections. We can do that as well. So for example, if I want to give this group an access to manage students, assign courses to sites and change the content order. So they'll be able to change these three sections. However, the other sections would only be viewable to them. They'll not be able to make any changes to any other section. So once we have set our permissions here, we'll click on save. Now that we have our group created, let me click on groups. You can see CoachRack author here. It's enabled and we have set the permissions from here. Now let me add my colleague Susan to this particular group. So let's click on team and we'll have to click on add user. As we discussed before, it's very important to create a group first and then add a member to it. Please do not forget that. This is very important. So now I'm going to add Susan to this group. Since Susan is not a group member already, the system will ask me to provide a password and the name. So I'm going to quickly provide a password and a name, and it will ask me to assign Susan to a particular group. So since we are working on CoachRack authors, I'm going to assign her to the CoachRack authors group and then enable the status. Always ensure that the status is turned on. Alright, otherwise this member would not be active. So then you have to click on save. You can now see that in your team member section you have Susan added. Now before we proceed, we'll have to first add her to a site. So I'll click on, let me go back and show it to you again. I'll click on this assign to sites button and give her access to one of my schools. So for now I'm going to give her access to CR Training School. So Susan would not be able to see the Carpentry Corner or the MF Training membership site. Now going back, if you click on assign apps, you have the option to specifically assign access to a particular app. Now since Susan is primarily going to work on CoachRack, I'm going to give her access only to CoachRack. So she would not have any access to content inside Member Factory or Reward Burst or Cardform. Okay, save. Now that we have set up the permission and set up the accesses, let me log in from Susan's account and show you exactly how it looks like. So let me log out from here. And enter her credentials and log into her account. So you can see Susan is logged in here. Now if I click on Member Factory, remember we gave her access only to CoachRack and not Member Factory. So what I'm going to do is I'll try to click on access here, and you can see she would not be able to see any projects here. So if I go back to the app dashboard and click on access under CoachRack, she would be able to see CR Training. Remember, we had two schools here. One was CR Training and one was The Amazing World of Carpentry. But since we gave her access only for CR Training, she can only see CR Training. And we've given her manage options, so she can manage schools, manage school and make some changes here too. So this is exactly how you give permissions or permissions to view or manage your school and courses to a team member. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to help you out. Thank you so much for watching.